On Monday of this week, the Supreme Court handed down a 5-4 decision, which was voted on along party lines, that says that Ohio is 100% in the right by kicking people off the voting rolls in their state if they haven't voted in more than 2 years. Donald Trump, shortly after the Supreme Court announced this decision, which will effectively disenfranchise hundreds of thousands of voters, tweeted out the following. He said, just one big Supreme Court decision on voting. Great news. No, Mr. President, it's not great news. What this is subversion of our democracy, of our very basic right as American citizens, which is the right to vote. And you're celebrating the fact that the state of Ohio is taking that away from people, not because they broke the law and lost the right to vote, not because they committed voter fraud, but just because they didn't vote in the last 2 years. Maybe they had to miss the midterms because they were sick or in the hospital or couldn't get off work that day or were out of town visiting relatives. Who cares what the reason is? If you didn't vote in the midterms, you just lost your right to vote in the state of Ohio, and the President of the United States and Republicans around this country are celebrating it. Why? Because according to statistics, the majority of people that had already been kicked off of the voting rolls in the state of Ohio for not voting in the last 2 years, majority of them were African Americans. 144,000 people kicked off the rolls so far in Ohio for the crime of not voting in 2 years. And most of them are African Americans who tend to vote with Democrats. That's why Republicans are so happy. That's why Donald Trump is happy. Because if you can't beat them, cheat them. That's the GOP mantra. They know that they're facing a hell of a fight in this year's midterms. They know the Democrats are energized and ready to go vote. So in order to stave off that blue wave, you have to just kick them off the voting rolls. And this Supreme Court decision could very easily open the door to other states doing the exact same thing. Other states are already looking at this: Oklahoma, Montana, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Right now. God only knows what's going to happen in the next month or two as other states see that, oh, we can kick people off the voting rolls and we're a swing state, or we've got a lot of vulnerable conservatives that we want to get reelected to Congress. Maybe we'll do the same thing. Because again, the statute on here is 2 years. If you didn't vote in 2 years, you're off the roll. They did it in Ohio. The Supreme Court says it's okay, even though technically it is a violation of federal law. So the Supreme Court justices actually had to twist the law, which was very clear, in order to give this the okay. But you know what? This is what happens when Republicans steal a Supreme Court seat, as they did for Neil Gorsuch. He shouldn't be on that court. This decision would have gone the other way, and we would have preserved the right to vote for hundreds of thousands, if not potentially millions of American citizens. But Republicans fought, Republicans won, and now Democrats are the one paying the price by being kicked off the voting rolls and losing any voice that they may have had in this country.